What's up, friends? Reinhard here, and today we're going to be doing another thing. So, last time Lunchbox interviewed me, so this time I'm going to interview Lunchbox. This is Lunchbox.
Buildable figure.
So,
Reasonably prudent vegan.
Yeah.
Either one.
It's hot. Hot cocoa. It's 90 degrees outside. Alright, so I made a list of questions here, which you can't look at. Don't get slapped with the book.
Okay.
Alright, question 1. What was your first Lego set?
The pencil cup? I think it was the pencil cup.
Nobody cares that you built a pencil cup.
It was the pencil cup. Because I was a teacher at the time and I thought it would be a fun accessory for my desk, which was a stupid notion for someone who'd been teaching as long as I have, to think that I could leave Legos on my desk and they would stay there. But I built it and then I tried to do a video on it, and I kept starting and stopping, and finally I looked at him and I was like, nobody cares that I built a pencil cup.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of become a thing between us.
Okay, well, I guess that was your first new set. Did you have a new set, or did you have any sets when you were a kid?
No, I didn't have any Lego sets when I was a kid. I remember having a big box of Legos that I remember playing with, but I don't know whose they belonged to. And I would get frustrated because there's a bunch of roof pieces and windows, and it was like, there's nothing you could do with it. I had other building sets, but not Lego.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
It is, actually, because the building set I had, I made like a pirate ship out of it, and it was glow-in-the-dark bricks. And it was such a big deal. My mom let me bring it to her second grade classroom when I was in third grade to do show and tell. Like, I got to leave and come down the hall and show her kids. It was pretty impressive. I wish I had pictures.
Okay. Ow, Jesus, Kimmy. She just totally clawed my neck. Alright, so what is your favorite Lego color?
Oh, geez. Okay, so I like all the bright... Sweetheart. I like all the bright ones. Like, excuse me for a second. Banished. I really like bright pink. Even though pink's not my favorite color, the bright pink just kind of make everything pop. Like I don't know my Lego colors, but the almost berry one, and then I like purple. Could you pretend like you've given an interview before?
Yeah, most people I interview answer a little quicker.
I had a cat issue. Anyway, I like the bright ones. My favorite one, I built a kind of a beach scene at the end of the school year after my last year of teaching to kind of commemorate it, and that's probably one of my favorite color, whatever. I just like bright colors.
Okay, so what's your favorite set?
My favorite set. The birds. You remember the set that they had, like, you could build the 3 birds and they're up on a stand? I enjoyed that one so much. I wish they would do more like that.
That was one that, I forget what they're called, someone built and submitted.
Yeah, the Lego Ideas. But that was my favorite.
Okay. Alright, so what changes would you make to the city if you could make whatever you want? Within the house, not like your ideal.
Okay. This is their play area during the day. They don't understand what's happening. Okay, changes. So I would like to see more Kimmy Cat. Mr. Vincent, do something with your sister. I think you got her. I would like to see more terrain, like more mountains. And I know part of what we're doing with the expansion will give us more space, but more like forests that change with different types. Like, what was her name that we went to see at Brick Fiesta? She's
Alice
something. She's done these like amazing landscapes. Like she did, was she Rivendell? And maybe not Rivendell. Anyway, I would like to see more greenery. I really enjoy animals and nature and using different brick techniques to create an effect. I'm terrible at it, but you asked me what I would do.
So how come you haven't done any of that?
You want the long answer that allows me to talk about all of the things that have happened in the past week?
No.
Okay, I've been busy.
Okay, so I guess going straight from there, what's your dream city?
Can you narrow that? Like ours together, or the one that I would create that would be more or less mine?
Whichever one you want.
Okay, Elf City. I really want to get that off the ground, and I want it to be kind of like a.
Now, when you say elf city, you mean the elves set made into a city?
Well, let me expand on that. Let's call it fantasy world. That's stupid. I don't know. But I want it to encompass all the Harry Potter sets, none of which I have, and all of which are ridiculously expensive. All of the Lord of the Rings Hobbit sets, one of which you have, and a few we've collected since then, and then the elf sets. And I want it to be in a kind of a fluid layout where you kind of meld in from one to the other, kind of like you would if you were reading the Lord of the Rings and you saw the map that Tolkien created. It would be kind of like that, different parts of the same same world, but they kind of intertwine. That's my ideal city. That's been my mind from the beginning.
So not a like traditional city like we have going on upstairs?
No, because we already have that. I really like the fantasy stuff. I like I said, the nature and the greenery and rocks and hills and water and dragons.
Okay.
Although I like the city. It's fun. I would like to put it, but see, I want to put it in a park. I tried to put it in a park and we had to move the park.
Okay. So how come you haven't built a skyscraper yet?
Well, okay, on that note, I'm working on one. I'm calling it Rainbow Tower. And you made fun of it, and also I don't exactly know how to enclose it. It's kind of like the skeleton. It looks like a parking garage for Rainbow Bright and Company right now. It started out as a house that was built off the ground. I literally started it during Hurricane Harvey with the thought of how can we build houses more sustainably in Houston if we're going to flood, and it kind of looked like a beach house loft. And that wasn't working, so he said, why don't you make it a skyscraper? So I did, and then I was like, well, if I'm going to do that, I want to make it colorful. So it's all like rainbow layers, but it literally, now it looks like a parking garage. That I haven't done it yet because I haven't done it yet. I should do it this weekend.
Hurricane Harvey was like 2 months ago.
I don't disagree. I'm not blaming Hurricane Harvey.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying that's how the evolution of it. I haven't built a skyscraper because I don't have all the, most of the bricks are ones you've ordered. I don't want to cut into those. And I would want, frankly, I would want fancy colors. Like if I'm going to build a tower, I want to build it like pink and purple.
Well, too bad you don't have any money.
We're working on it.
Mm-hmm. So, do you prefer small buildings with detail or big buildings kind of where you just do the outside?
I'm very much a detail person. I like that. You saw like the pizza. I built out 3 of the friend sets: the pizzeria, the dog grooming place, and what was the other one?
The market.
Thank you, the market square. I like the detail. I like you work in the market and all the different types of vegetables you can buy. Or in the pizzeria, you can see in the back the little cheese grater, and I put in a little paper towel dispenser. I like the detail. The skyscrapers are amazing. I definitely like the effect they have on me when I see them, but if I'm building for myself, I tend to add the detail.
Okay. So where are you headed with your hobby then?
I feel... Oh, Stormy, please don't do that.
There's one smell on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, now there's 2 of them.
I feel like my hobby is kind of a little bit on sabbatical because of other things that I've been putting ahead of it for the past year, like major, good grief, it's like a catapalooza.
That's mine.
So the future of my hobby is to focus on 1 or 2 projects at a time and actually put the effort into making either, like I'm not really out of Kimmy. We should introduce him. This is Mr. Vincent Nigel Murray. The small gray one is Kimmy Schmidt, and the one in the background who's a little skittish is Stormageddon, Dark Lady of All.
Mm-hmm.
They're all wonderful and fascinated right now. They did not do this last time.
I apologize if the camera's shaking. They're all walking on the desk, investigating.
And pawing. No ma'am. No ma'am.
Mr. Vincent, get your head out of the way.
I would honestly, I would like to spend a little more time actually planning out what I'm gonna do and being more intentional about it because I don't really have time to just sit down and play
Cody.
like I used to. So yeah, I'd like to build something that like even you were like, wow, that's amazing.
Okay. Well, sorry this is so professional.
I'm so sorry, the cats. What do you do?
All right. What's the next question here? So how do you explain your lack of videos on any of your channels?
Okay, the only way I can answer that is the way you don't want me to answer that, and that would be the Texas bar exam.
You mean the one that you took in July?
That's the one.
And it's November 4th?
Results came back.
Now we gotta sit here and do nothing and wait for it. I mean, jeez.
I was busy. I started and I started a job and quit a job. I took contract work. I cleaned the house.
So, how do you balance work with hobby time?
That's so hateful.
I mean, you don't have a job right now, and you don't do any hobbies. So what are you going to do when you get a job?
I do have hobbies. Right now my main hobby is getting a job, as you say. Starting a law firm.
Certainly not cleaning the house.
I do clean the house. You have
Huh?
clean clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Mow the lawn.
So what are your other hobbies?
So, I like to read and I like to journal, which you may think are stupid hobbies, but they keep me sane. You're welcome. I really like Stoic philosophy, and I've been reading Stoic philosophy quite a bit since finishing the bar in July. I finished one book. I'm on a new one, On the Shortness of Life by Seneca. And I'm getting back into running, which is another hobby. Don't laugh at me.
I didn't.
I saw it out of the corner of my eye.
That was not me.
I think cooking is also a hobby, and you're welcome to laugh at that one because I am terrible, but I have made progress. I can now take one recipe and make 3 varieties out of the same ingredients.
It's been almost, 6 years?
Well, before I met you, I didn't need to cook for myself.
Okay, well, that's awesome. So, how come you only do Lego because of me?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Don't pretend like it's not true.
Okay, full disclosure, I never played with Lego before I met him, and I've thought about, well, what if we weren't together? And I would probably still do some of it. I would buy the architecture sets. I had this great idea to, paint on the wall, the world, a big world map, as big as you can possibly get it, with just the boundaries, nothing specific. And then to take the architecture sets, once you finish them, particularly the small ones, put them in those, trophy cases, and then put them at the different places, and then you have this great wall. I always thought that'd be great. That, and then I like the 3-in-1 animal sets, and then a couple of the other ones, like the fishing one, the fishing whatever would be fun. But no, you did definitely introduce me to this hobby, and it became a big thing. I enjoy it. I find it relaxing, and it's actually really gratifying to do the detail builds that I did with those 3 friend sets, and then the hemp shop is just, it has its own intrinsic value. I didn't design it. I did buy the plans and build it, but why do I only like Lego because of you? Because it's something that we shared early in our relationship, and it's something that I love about you and really and truly enjoy watching you do, and that you let me tag along is a lot of fun. And sometimes I think I surprise you with some of my abilities. I mean, I do stupid weird stuff with the builds. I get to the roof and I'm like, I don't know what to do. It'll be fine. It's open air. But sometimes I think you enjoy them, and they're more or less my ideas.
Okay, good. So, do you have any big ideas for buildings or plans or whatever that you haven't started? I mean, you mentioned a couple, but...
Yeah. Well, every time that we go upstairs into the Lego room, it's a shame that the Lego room is upstairs, because I think if it were in a situation where we could spend more time in there, or if there were even a TV in there so you could just kind of be in there and listen to something else, I think I would do more in there. But every time we go in there, I see stuff, and I'm like, I would do this way, or I would start working on Elf City. But it's like we go up there for a couple of activities every weekend, and then we leave it and come back downstairs and build downstairs. And some of the inspiration I get by proximity to the Legos. I don't have I don't carry the thoughts and what do you call it, inspiration with me the way you do. When I'm near it, I think, gosh, this would be really cool. Or like, I finished almost all of my minifigure picture frames. I've got a couple more left to do, and I literally don't think about it until I see them again. They're not even up on the wall yet. So yeah, anyway, I think that as for my inspiration, I really do want to do something with Rainbow Tower. I know it sounds totally silly, but I think when it's done, if I do it the way I'm thinking about it, I think it'll actually look really nice. Even if it does look like a unicorn crapped out a building.
Okay, well, once you figure out what parts you need, we'll get them and get going, I guess.
Absolutely.
All right, so where do you see your hobby/collection in 5, 10, whatever years?
Okay, that's a fun question because everything that I want to do with regard to Lego and everything else in my life is predicated upon this idea for this perfect house that I have in my mind that we haven't found yet and that we can't actually afford because, as he constantly points out, I am unemployed-ish.
To be fair, we could afford it if I didn't have your all-consuming law school debt sucking the life out of me.
He's a sweet man. Really just the best. Yes, so to answer your initial question...
It was more than my mortgage.
It was more than your mortgage at the time I met you. It was not more than a typical American mortgage.
I think it is. What do you know? You lived with your freaking aunt for like 7 years.
You know why? Because of inflation. Because I went to buy a house in 2007. Do you know what happened in 2007? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Politics is what it is. So anyway, to answer your first question, diatribe aside, I really want to have a hobby room that can function in the way that our living room does so that we can relax and watch whatever TV shows but also be working on our projects. And also, and this is going to sound so incredibly pouty, but I would really like to have the Elf City on a table that's not on the floor. I'm not old, but I feel like getting down on my knees on the floor to do the Elf City is a little prohibitive.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like the setup I have for any of it. Like the UCS sets is very cumbersome. Mm-hmm. I like what Down Under Bricks recently did.
Yeah, that's brilliant. The shelves, like you said, the museum style, so you can really enjoy it.
Yeah, you can walk around it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's fair. But did you answer my question?
Where
do you see it in
5
10?
Oh, no, not exactly. So predicated upon the house, I genuinely want to have... Okay, so I'm going to actually tell you something I haven't told you yet. I want to have the whole, like, cityscape, Elf City fantasy thing that I described earlier. But I also have an idea for when it's time, like, provided that the law firm does what it's supposed to and in 5 years we're doing well, I want to be able to do something where we have Legos in the law firm since I'm doing school law. And, like, I thought it would be a fun way to, like, I don't know, I've got it in my head, like, how to... something more inclusive for special needs kids, and then having some display in the office, and then we're known as like go to the attorney. She has Legos in the office. I don't know. It could be a gimmick. The whole thing could fail, but I don't think that it will. I think maybe it'll take longer than I hope it will. But that's kind of what I see as like getting my stuff in order and whatever, and then having it in the office to be some kind of fun, cool thing, the attorney with the Legos. And then eventually, and you're going to hate this, I wanted to get to the point where if we got so many Legos or so much stuff that we started to donate and like have have a display at Texas Children's on the medical center. Like, I've been down there and they have this really great display for the kiddos, and it's a train set and there's like a whole big thing. But I thought an organic Lego city that grows. We get to go and see the kids and teach them how to build and work with kids with, illnesses. That's honestly, that's 5 to 10 years. Okay. It'll be like sponsored by our law firm.
That's fair. I think it's funny that I won't let your nephew touch my stuff, but
No, it'll be behind glass. I mean, they'll get to see it, and there'll just be a display there, and then we can like have Lego classes, like teach the kids that are sick at the hospital how to build. It'd be fun. I think you'd like it more than you think you would. Get out of the lampshade, please.
All right, so you mentioned some of this. You collect elves, and you want to do Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and
Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm. It's expensive stuff, but
it is. British authors are my favorite. So
what else do you want to collect?
Okay, so
I mean, it doesn't even have to be Lego, I suppose.
Okay, well, that's fair. So I was a big Judy Garland Wizard of Oz fan. I would like to get back to collecting stuff like that, but like authentic old magazines and stuff like that. I also I love books. I know you have a pretty good book collection. I would like to collect some more J.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. We have almost all of J.K. Rowling that are big and published.
I think I have most Tolkien books. You didn't put out very many.
He didn't. No, he didn't. But yeah, as far as collections, I mean, I don't know. I like to collect running medals.
Running sucks.
Running's awesome. And then when we travel, I mean, I know you travel a lot for work and you hate it, but when you do travel, I think you like it. We always collect magnets. I mean, that's really it. Books are my thing.
Okay.
I love books.
Kimmy.
No.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on my buildings?
Okay, all right. This is going to be fun. I appreciate the scale. Absolutely. I love how big you make them, and it's so you like bigger, better, touch the ceiling. And I am intrigued at what inspires you to put certain bricks together, and I am shocked at your choice of color sometimes. You're more of a blue-gray kind of guy in your clothing, and then you just like, boom, orange building. That was you. Yeah, boom, orange building. I kind of feel like I feel like there's maybe something you miss by not spending a little more time on the interior, but to each their own. I've yet to build a skyscraper, so, and I didn't like that you were going to build out the modular sets because I felt like that was some kind of impurity. But then to see you be able to expand it, keep it symmetrical, and keep the essence of the building, that is impressive. Because when I build things out, like the color scheme is the same and the bricks are the same, but it didn't look anything like it did initially. Because I just my fun for me is working within the bricks that I have to the degree that I can, and then but you don't do that. And I also appreciate the fact that you spend the time to like plan it out. I'm a planner, but for some reason when it comes to Legos, like maybe it's the counting bricks or whatever, I'm terrible at it, and I'm like, we'll just use whatever's upstairs, it'll be fine. And then you end up with like a mostly green building with a little wonky brown in the back or something.
Jeez. All right, so which one of my buildings is your favorite?
Lunchbox lofts. Because they're named after me, even though I reject that name. And they are extremely colorful, and they're very well finished. Like, they actually look like you would imagine an apartment complex. You got all the corners correct, and they're perfect for, like, the mummy hangout.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's all the questions I had. Did you have any other things you wanted to say to my fan base? I have, like, one.
You have more than one. No, he's really great at all this.
That's not what I meant. Don't compliment me. What else do you want to talk about?
He sucks. You? Okay.
I know I'm good. I mean, you don't have to tell me.
I think I have 30 people on my channel, and I did a really good job of getting videos planned ahead of time for the Texas for when I knew I would be busy this summer, and I haven't posted anything. The truth is, I like the things that I build. I can't think of things to say. I'm like, this is a great color green. Don't you love this color green? It's mossy and transparent. Like, I just sound like a really crappy cook on some, like, 2 o'clock in the morning cooking show from some other country. So, not that there's anything wrong with any other country. No, I don't know. I don't know what I could do to be better because I'm not as good at it as he is. I enjoy it more than I am good at it, if that makes sense.
So go over to her channel, subscribe, and then unsubscribe because of what she just said about foreign people.
I am the most liberal person on this couch. You should know
That's
that.
very true.
It is very true. You want to see my Bernie Sanders shoes? I got them after the election. That's how liberal I am.
Okay, well, I guess that's it then. So, if you have any other questions for her, feel free to post them down below. I'm sure she trolls the comment section quite often, actually.
I do.
So, yeah, post your questions, comments, complaints, concerns down below. Remember to keep it real.
And thanks for watching.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.